Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Matthew. I also go by FairyGodfather on Ravelry and Instagram. And this is my new YouTube channel that will be focused on my knitting and hopefully soon designing and creativity in general. And ever since I started knitting, which is only 3 years ago, once I found YouTube about it, I just fell in love, and I've just been wanting to be part of this community and wanting to sort of contribute and add my voice to what's out there. So here I am finally doing it. Would I have preferred to have graphics and music and fancy editing tricks? Yes. Would I have preferred to be doing it at a different time of year that wasn't filled with Vlogmas and just way too much content already? Yes. However, this is what's happening. I couldn't go another year without doing it. Every year I've intended to start. And it's almost 2023, and I just want to jump in and join the conversation and join the fun. So, yeah, here I am. So, today I'm just going to introduce myself, talk a little bit about how I started knitting, and also get into my whips. And then I'm hoping from here on out to do a sort of podcast, KnitCast episode every couple weeks with some other videos in the intervening weeks. That's my intention right now for the channel. I would love it if you subscribed and came on this journey with me, and we'll just see how things develop. So, how I came to knitting. I was obviously exposed to knitting a little bit as a child. My grandmother knit, but she never taught me, and we had blankets that she knit and stuff like that, but I don't think she really did many garments. And then when I was in undergrad, there was like a little phase where knitting became popular, and that's when I really learned how to cast on and actually knit. I don't think I even knew how to purl, and I made maybe like a scarf back then. But I didn't really take to it, and it didn't become a big part of my life, and I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. Many years later, when I had become a middle-aged person, I had the wonderful opportunity to become a father through being a sperm donor for my dear friend who is a single mother by choice. And so I donated to her. And so in early 2020, we were anticipating the birth. I was not going to be able to be there for it physically because Emma lives very far away from where I live. And I wanted to do something for the baby. Her name is Sophia, and she's almost 3 now. And so I bought a knitting kit. It was like a DVD and yarn and the needles, I think, all came together, and it was a kit to make a little hoodie. If I can figure out how to insert a photo, I will insert a photo here. And that's how I started knitting, and that was, January, February of 2020, and I loved it. I loved doing it. I made her a hoodie, and then I made her 2 hats, and then I just couldn't stop, and I was making extra hats, and then I thought, well, can I make myself a sweater? And I kind of took off from there. And then, of course, also the pandemic hit, and so I found myself with a lot of time, and I just became obsessed with knitting during that time. So that's how I came to it. I learned completely through YouTube and other reading and the things like that. And yeah, so it's a very online experience for me. All of my knitting friends are Instagram people and YouTube people. I don't have a lot of people in my regular physical day-to-day life that I can talk to about knitting. And so that's a big part of why I want to join this community and why I want to have sort of online knitting friends. So about me, so as I say, my name is Matthew, Matthew J. Trafford, and I am a writer in my, regular non-knitting life. I don't want to know what to call it. I was going to call it my human life, as though that's somehow separate from my knitting life. But anyway, this is my book, The Divinity Gene. It came out in 2011, and it's short stories. There's my author drawing photo thing. So yeah, I write fiction. I teach fiction sometimes. I do copy editing. I do editing on people's manuscripts to help them along the process. And I write predominantly fiction so far. I'm trying to break into screenwriting, and I'm trying to write other things. And And then knitting has become, as I say, my complete side obsession. So the way that I became fairy godfather was that when I was house sitting in Picton, Ontario, and I went into when I wanted to make something after I finished the kit, making the hoodie for Sophia, and wanted to knit something else. They have a LYS there, a local yarn store. So I went into the Rosehaven store in Picton, and it was a woman there who told me about Ravelry. And so when I went home and went to Ravelry, and I had to come up with a username, for some reason it just came to me in that moment, Fairy Godfather. Fairy Godfather. You know, I was kind of feeling my bippity boppity boo, like Cinderella. I don't know. I just wanted something that evoked the like creativity and magic of knitting and crafting and, you know, making clothing out of string and just all that sort of the magicness of it. And also that sort of godfatherly relationship. So I just became fairy godfather, and I kind of love it, and it's stuck. I love how people have different knitting names than they do like from their regular life names, and how it's a culture where we can have like a knitting personality and a knitting persona. And so my fairy godfather is my knitting persona. I think it throws people off. They don't know whether to address me as Fairy or Matthew or whatever. And really, like, it's all good. You can call me whatever you want to. Fairy Godfather Matthew, Matthew, Fairy, like, it's fine. I've been called worse, trust me. So yes, I am Matthew, and I am Fairy Godfather, and we are one. And this is our podcast. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I'm wearing and my works in progress. It's going to be a very Stephen West heavy episode because that just happens to be what's going on for me right now. And he is a brilliant designer, obviously, and one that I love very much. So I just happen to have all Stephen West projects right now. I am wearing the Spiraling Cables Triangle by Stephen West. And I did it, the gray and black is from Small Fish Yarns in Alberta. And they have these like sock minis in sort of a grayscale, and so I used those to kind of get the gradient in the cables. And then the other color is I think it's just called Monarch or possibly Monarch Butterfly from Purple Lamb Fiber Arts. And this was an amazing project. It was just so addictive. Like that, this is one of the things I admire so much about Stephen West and his designs is the way he does his sections and the way he writes his patterns. They're addictive. I can't think of another word. They propel you forward to the next row and the next section all the time. So I did this while I was supposed to be working on something else. I am not a monogamous knitter by any means. And I just cast it on one night sort of secretly, and then I couldn't stop. So this is, I love the way how it turned out though. So yeah, this is my Spiraling Cables Triangle. On the needles, I am doing a Dustland sweater. Let's see if you can see the textures there. So it kind of alternates between, you know, there's some garter, that's just the short rows. There's like a diagonal rib and a moss stitch and a broken rib, and the sections just repeat through the whole sweater. I'm hoping to wear this for Christmas. We have like a family Christmas thing on December 18th, and then I'll have my family Christmas on the 25th, and I'm hoping to wear it. The yarn I'm using is this. It is Peppa's Mint Twist DK by Dyed by Dells. That's the Vincent half of Les Garçons, which is Vincent and Max the Knitter. They're a great pair if you don't know them, like Max's design. They both have designs, and they have a YouTube channel as well. They're based in Montreal. They're just amazing guys. So yeah, I waited till this was on sale, and when I saw it, I just grabbed it up to buy the sweater quantity for the Dustland, and I'm really excited how it's turning out. The other thing I have, so I was late with the MCAL this year. I couldn't do it during October, but I really still wanted to do it, so I'm doing it late, and I'm embracing my pace, which is somewhat slow. So I've just finished Clue 2. I'm not going to talk about it much because I'm going to do a whole other video on it, but this is where I am at with it. And I will just say that this is, the kit is from Songbird Fibers. Can you read that, or is it backwards? Anyway, it's Songbird Yarn and Fibers, songbirdfibers.ca. Vicky, she's incredible. Their yarns are incredible. I can't recommend them highly enough. And $2 from every skein gets donated to Birds Canada for conservation and education. So I always like that when there's something, charitable along with the yarns. And then the other project I have, it's not technically on needles because I'm just halfway through at a point where it doesn't need to be, but it's a Stephen West as well. It's called Armored. It's a cardigan, and I've made it quite a bit bigger than what's suggested. He sort of says you can customize with as many repeats as you want, and because I'm tall and long, I just wanted it longer. So it's one that can be worn in two ways. So one way is sort of like this, where like it'll be a drapey cardigan situation, and then the other way is just sort of flipped, where you get a bit of a longer sleeve and it hangs down in a more wingy way, and like obviously wouldn't come up higher. Anyway, so I have to do another one of these. Like I have to do the other half essentially. And so it's gonna be huge, but I wanted something huge and drapey to just wrap myself in winter. So those are the 3 projects I have going on right now. I'm not doing any Christmas gift knitting. I'm doing one thing, but I finished it. Last year at this time, I was just going crazy trying to finish everything for Christmas and just knitting furiously day after day, and I was really stressed out. So it feels really nice this year to not have that kind of on my plate. Thank you so much for joining me today. It means a lot to me to have you watch. Please say hi in the comments below, introduce yourself so we can get to know each other, and look for more content soon. I'm hoping to post a video in a couple days about a sweater I made based on a book cover. So look forward to that, and I'll have more content coming your way soon. And I'm Fairy Godfather Knits on Instagram and Fairy Godfather on Ravelry if it is accessible to you. Thank you so much, and catch you in the next one. Bye.